What do you do confidently now that made you feel weird in the past? So many things. Getting older and caring less about what people who don't matter to me think of me has been extremely liberating. I've also learned that most people aren't actually paying attention when you do something stupid or embarrassing. People are usually off in their own little worlds. I was a very self-conscious and eccentric child, but adult me has fully embraced my weird side, and it's wonderful. I am who I am meant to be, and I'm surrounded by amazing people. Most people aren't actually paying attention when you do something stupid or embarrassing. People are usually off in their own little worlds. Many, in fact, are probably reliving their own stupid and embarrassing moments in their head and cringing at them. A game changer for me was when I came across the magic phrase, "It's only embarrassing if you're embarrassed." I shrug off so much now that younger me would have been mortified over, because it's not objectively embarrassing. I was just embarrassed. Walking down the street, realizing I was going in the wrong direction, and making a U-turn without pretending to have forgotten something. Same here. My old tactic, since the cell phone era began, was to stop in front of some building, look around like I was waiting for someone, and pretend to call or text that person until I was certain that anyone who might have seen me was well out of distance before turning around. This shit always happened to me the few times I had to work in NYC. I'd get embarrassed and just circle the block lol. Saying how I feel. I'd usually bottle things up because I didn't want to upset anyone. No more storing up the anger till I explode. If any of you does something I don't like, you're gonna hear about it. Alright? Crowd cheers, and if you really tick me off, I'm gonna run you down with my car. Crowd gets worried. As a 36-year-old male who's been married for 14 years and has 2 kids, I cannot stress how important this is. Not only for the sake of others you're in a relationship with, but also your own mental health. My natural reaction is to suppress any negative feelings and not talk to anyone about them. Well, 2018 was an extremely difficult year for my wife and me. We experienced a lot of unexpected loss. Estranged parent dying, family member committing suicide, losing our first dog, friends moving away, and much more. I never really processed the grief, and never discussed any of it with my wife. This made her feel distant and it plunged me into depression. Having never experienced depression before, it took a long time for me to recognize it. I've been seeing a therapist for almost a year now, and it's helping. I found I'm at my best and my marriage is strongest when I process things verbally. My kids also benefit because they see a grown man talking about how he feels. It's equally important for my daughter as it is my son. Don't be afraid of upsetting anyone. Think about this: if they get upset because you feel a certain way, most likely, they're either too emotionally fragile, or they don't care enough to value your feelings. Those types of people should be kept at arm's length. Pee without asking. Slightly unrelated, but I used to tutor kids high school and below in math. When you talk with them you realize how much your day-to-day as a kid in school legitimately feels like prison. You're told where to sit, what to do, where to look, where not to look, when to eat, when you can drink, and ask to pee. If you're caught losing your attention at all during that 8-hour block, then someone yells at you. Then when you get home you have to do work from the rest of the day. Being an adult is rough sometimes, and it's extremely difficult when you've got actual devastating problems, but for most adults it's much nicer than school was. I wouldn't trade my current life for a second. U/JTL 1492 Stop peeing on the floor, damn it. Going out for a meal on my own. Once you work in a restaurant you realize how many people come in alone. It's no big deal. Thank you for this one. You reminded me of the first time I did this when I was about 20 years old. Moved into a new neighborhood and really wanted to try this cute little place down the street from my apartment, but was solo. Put it off too many nights to admit, until finally said fuck it, grabbed her book, got a table and had the 4-course Prix Fix menu and I loved it. I was super nervous and embarrassed, but ended up having a pretty damn fine time. Ends up I'm okay company. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.